Oh shit!
Earlier that day,
This is the match. We got 4 masks to deal with. I'm ready. I am so ready to damage them and them know my GPS location, my coordinates. Worst map to play them on.
Are you
why I dislike this map, Jez, is because Titan skating will get them out of their spawn and back to the action faster than we can get back there as a unit.
that's true.
Yeah. Dude, look at that full box. Yuck!
Alright, they have 2 suppressors. And I'm guessing that's a missile, but I could be wrong.
They have one sniper,
They have a total of 2
One
sets
sniper.
of eyes.
They are there before us. Look at where I am in relative to you.
Yeah, they have a total of 2 sets of eyes. Don't sweat it, boys. How bad could it get?
I killed him, and I got a sunspot. Let me use it. Good, Sun Warrior. He's up top. I put 60 in him.
I put a lot of damage into him.
He's dead. Next 2.
I can rip.
I 2-tapped him.
Good job, dude. Good job.
Well, here's my voice post-commentary. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the state of Titans, specifically the Sunbreakers. As for Titans in general right now, they get a lot of play mainly on PC due to the combination of Titan skating and the broken overpoweredness of the One-Eyed Mask. I'm happy to report that both One-Eyed Mask and Titan skating will be nerfed. I'm not sure how, but at least they're nerfed. Now, this does raise the question of the effectiveness of Titans in general post-nerf. What I'm about to say next is purely my opinion, and it's rooted in thousands of hours of gameplay. As you can see, I almost have 700 hours on Titan alone. The reason that my Titan has a little bit more playtime than my Warlock and Hunter is because of the One-Eyed Mask. Specifically what I mean is I spent every weekly reset farming powerful engrams on my Titan, just my Titan, in hopes of getting the One-Eyed Mask. In terms of Destiny 2's competitive scene and tournament scene, I mained a Titan out of process of elimination. All my teammates ran Hunters and Warlocks, so out of a need and want to keep our team as strong as possible, I played Titan. It's worth mentioning that in the Season 3 tournament scene, Titan skating was banned, so I chose not to use it for the entire season. And because I was practicing for tournaments, even in quick play, I didn't really use Titan skating. At the end of Season 3, start of Season 4, I realized that there's a possibility that Titan skating will never be nerfed. So I just accepted it as part of the game, a very annoying part of the game, but I learned how to use and abuse it. The same, however, cannot be said for the One-Eyed Mask. Whenever I got my mask, I put it on, and I confirmed for myself that both with and without skating, One-Eyed Mask is broken. To me, when I use it, this is my opinion still, I feel like I am cheating. And as a result, it doesn't really feel like a fun video game, and so I choose not to use it. But occasionally, I get 4 clowns on the enemy team who want to run all One-Eyed Mask, all Titan skating. And it's very obnoxious to the point where if they're good enough players, and these are 5500 games by the way, it necessitates me switching to the mask just so my team has a reasonable chance. In the current state of the game, my vanilla free-to-play level 20 account, for those of you who don't know, that's an account that was given for a free promotion. It has no access to any DLC, so it doesn't get the 3rd subclass, it doesn't get One-Eyed Mask, it doesn't get Controverse Hold, it doesn't get Spectral Blades, and so as a result, it's missing a lot of competitive options. If I had to briefly describe today's meta in as few words as possible, I would say that every team will have a One-Eyed Mask Titan, because if you don't have them, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Every team will have a Spectral Blade Hunter because it's free information just for crouching and getting a headshot. A lot of teams used to include a Nova Warp Warlock on their team, but since the nerf, you don't really see that as often because the super just doesn't match up to the strength of the buffed Spectral Blades or any sort of Titan with One-Eyed Mask. With relative strength of supers and neutral game in mind, the Warlock doesn't have as easy of a top tier option. Yes, you have Top Tree Dawnblade, but for full potential to be unlocked, I strongly recommend using the Not Forgotten Hand Cannon because of its lethal time to kill in combination with its perfect in-air accuracy. So let's pretend for a second that both One-Eyed Mask and Titan Skating are deleted from existence. Not nerfed, but just straight up removed. If that hypothetical scenario was true, this is what my subclass tier list would somewhat look like. It would have Spectral Blades at SS tier with everything else sorted below it, reflecting relative strength. Obviously, the outlier on this list is Spectral Blades, and if they were balanced slightly differently, this list would look significantly different, mostly because some things are only high tier because of their ability to deal with Spectral Blades, although nothing really does a great job. But if we continue on this trend of hypothetical scenarios, let's say that Spectral Blades was balanced. I'm not going to say exactly how, but just balanced. Look at the current S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier options. There is a great mix of Titans, Hunters, and Warlocks. Of course, don't read too much into this tier list, I just made it up on the spot to illustrate the idea that whenever Titan Skating, One-Eyed Mask, and maybe Spectral Blades are all put in line, that more options will be available than just running in comp and seeing all Titans with a few Spectral Blades sprinkled in. Now that I finally addressed that point, I can get to the heart of this video, which is the A tier, talking about all of the Sunbreakers. Every single one of them. All three of the Sunbreakers, in my opinion, are competitive with each other, which is incredible considering the immense gap that previously they had to bridge. And this is in part to a combination of buffs to the subclasses and nerfs to both exotics and other subclasses. For example, with One-Eyed Mask out of the picture, this opens up so many exotics to use on all kinds of Titans, but specifically on Sunbreaker, this opens up Armamentarium, Inmost Light, Lion Rampants, Syntheseps, you can't forget Hellfire Heart, Dune Marchers, Worm God Caress for the throwing hammer. Real talk, it excites me so much just to see One-Eyed Mask out of the picture, bringing up so many fun competitive options. By no means are the options that replace One-Eyed Mask my preferred terms of balance, but at least the relative strength is reasonable. I've said it in the past, and I'll briefly say it again, that I feel the current game is a little too ability and super heavy, and I'd like to see that change in the future. However, this doesn't mean that I won't have a shitload of fun with One-Eyed Mask out of the picture.
It is tougher against players to hit shots.
Now on top to the foot. Oh, he's level 20 and on top. Cool.
Is he really?
Yes.
Well, here we are again at post-commentary. I hope that that mini montage somewhat illustrates the strength of the lesser two Sunbreakers now that they are buffed and that One-Eyed Mask is potentially out of the picture. So let me know in the comment section below which is your favorite Sunbreaker. Let me know the reason why, because as soon as these Titan nerfs happen, I'm going to start playing a lot more Sunbreaker and make a more formal guide for using these subclasses in Legend Comp. I already have one of those in the works for Top Tree Dawnblade because I feel that that class is criminally underrepresented for the strengths that it offers for a strong player. And on that note, in an effort to keep this video under 10 minutes, thank you guys for watching. You are truly the best.